Hello again and welcome back. This is Angry Katie with another World of Tanks replay. This time I will be showing you a match in my M8A1. Here I am on the map Winter Himmelsdorf. I'm in my M8A1, which is a tier 4 American tank destroyer. I really like this tank, but I really do not like this map. This map to me is something that people overuse the hill as the objective instead of focusing on the cap, which is the primary objective of this style of gameplay. Because as you can see, we are in an encounter style match and the cap is located down here towards the end of the map. So I decide, instead of going after the hill or the open field in the middle, that I'm going to go and sit in the abandoned train station that is on our side of the map. A few tanks are going to follow me down to the abandoned train station. However, I'm going to be the first one to get down here. I really like this tank's speed. That is something that is a big positive, because if you get into a negative situation where you have low hit points, or if you're firing at something you know you can't penetrate, you can run away really quickly because this tank has such high speed. So as I get down here, I see our T-49 is going to go and try and spot some tanks. And so I decide to pull out into the last opening of the train station where there is little debris for me to be behind. So I see the enemy M4 over there, and the T-49 is going to lure him out here into the open. So I back up and I see the T-49 pull out again, and when he does, the enemy M4 is over there and he hits the T-49. So I shoot at the M4 and I get a pretty good hit into him, and that's when I notice our toaster tank is behind me. So I have to be careful when I back up, and I get another good hit into the M4. So I go for my third shot, and when I do, I bounce. So I back up and I see our KV-1 has gotten over here, and so I shoot again and I bounce and the toaster tank misses, and so the KV-1 shoots the M4 and gets a really good hit into him, and I miss, and the toaster tank gets the kill. So I decide that I'm going to pull back out here into this opening and see if some more tanks are going to come down this line here. And when I do, I notice our KV-1 has decided that he's going to go out into the field. So I sit there and he's moving forward, and so I wait and see what he's going to do, and I zoom in and I see that he is going to decide to go out into the open here, and I pull forward and I pull out into the open and I back up again, and then I see that the KV-1 finally decides to move out and go towards the cap circle. So I stay stationed where I'm at, because I know with such a low amount of hit points for a tank destroyer, that if I go out into the open with the KV-1, anything can hit me and knock out over half of my health. So instead of playing where I'm playing more of a YOLO style, I decide to sit back and let the KV-1 go see if he can spot anything. And that is when I see the enemy KV-1 start moving towards the cap circle. So I sit here and I wait and I line up my shot and I pull out and see if I can shoot the Hellcat that's on the hill, and I don't have a shot at him. So I back up again and I see the KV-1 has made his way out here. So I shoot and I get a critical hit, and so I back up and I pull forward again, and when I do, the KV-1 is killed. So I see that there's a T-28 on the other side of these buildings over here. So I pull forward and I wait to see if he's going to crest out of the side of this building here. So all I have to do is just shoot his front plate instead of having to pull out and risk getting shot by another tank. So he doesn't. So instead of letting RRD go over there and take care of him, I decide that I'm going to go take care of him. So I go over here and I decide that I'm gonna scoot along the side of this building here. So I'm driving, and as I get over here, I stop and I slow myself down and I ease forward, and I zoom in and line up my shot, and I think I'm gonna kill him, and I end up hitting the pole. So I pull forward again and I get the kill. So then I see that another tank hits a really good hit into the enemy Electo, and so I line up and I kill him as well. So I see that we have a VK 3601 down there, and so instead of pulling forward and shooting at him, I decide that I'm going to take care of the Martyr 38T that's over here. So I pull forward and I get into the cap where I'm still behind a building so the VK can't see me. And when I get over here, the Martyr 38T is backing out from behind that building, and so I take full advantage of him showing me his side, and I get two really good hits into him, and finally I get the kill on him. So he just kind of stops, and I take advantage of that, and I get the kill. So here comes the enemy Crusader, and I shoot, and I get a pretty good hit into him, and I think, okay, I shot at him, so he's going to come after me. Well, instead of him coming after me, he's going after the KV1. So I shoot at him 3 or 4 more times before I get another penetration. And then he gets tracked by the KV1, and before I can fire the last shot, he's killed. So I decide, instead of sitting here in the cap circle and not really doing anything, I'm going to go after the last 2 tanks. So I go after Artie, who I presume is going to come at me from the direction of the railroad tracks where I was just at. And so I'm driving down to the fork, and I'm expecting him to come out and meet me, and he doesn't. So I keep driving over towards the spawn point here. And as we're doing that, I see the Artie come into my view range, and instead of zooming in, I decide to just take it upon myself to line him up in my reticle and shoot, and it overshoots him, and so he decides to come and try and ram me, which was a mistake. So there is my 4th and final kill for this match. So I see that the Chiha is still left here, so I go back towards our spawn point where he was last seen, and I hope that I'm going to get some more damage in, but I don't get over there fast enough, and by the time I get over there, he is already rounding the corner around those buildings. So I keep driving in hopes that I'm going to get over there fast enough, and he comes back into my view range, and before I can line up to take my shot, he's already rounded the corner. So I keep moving and hope that I get over there and can get some final damage in, which unfortunately I do not, because the Lee takes a pretty good hit into him, and then our toaster tank gets the kill. So that is the end of this match. So let's look at some results. So I got my first ace tanker match here, and I didn't do terrible. I did 941 damage with 365 spotting damage. I was 4th on my team with damage. I got 4 kills, which for this tank is pretty impressive. So I really like this tank, and I hope that you will take the time to try it out. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like or comment or even subscribe to my channel.
Channels of my clanmates. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you on the battlefield.
Thank you for watching, and hope to see you on the battlefield.